We can't hear Miss Kinkle. I think the microphone's
Oh
on.
yeah, your microphone is on mute. Hello, how are you, Miss Kinkle?
Now I can say hi.
All right, so I'm gonna open up. Hopefully, I can open up one of my thousands of windows that I have open. Not the right one. It's like you're trying to find everything. I've got too many windows open.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that showing? Are you guys seeing the green team agenda? Let me see. Okay, great.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So welcome everyone to the February 26th, 2024 Green Team meeting. Thank you for coming. It's not a big full meeting. It's just, we have a couple of updates that we wanted to share from our last meeting. Ray, actually I have Ray going first, and that's why I wanted to make sure he remembered that he got my email, but we have a concept called Beautiful Bladensburg that we want to share with you. We also want to give some updates on Earth Day. We want to talk a little bit about the sustainable communities and American Bloom, which is another program that we're doing. So Ray, do you want me to stop sharing so that you can share images of the Beautiful Bladensburg campaign and talk a little bit about that?
Yes, you could stop sharing so I could share my screen. Thanks.
Oops. There's Ms. McBride. Hi, Councilwoman McBride. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. We just went over a couple of staff updates that Ray's going to start with us.
Okay.
The first one is on Beautiful Bladensburg. So Ray?
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see the screen good?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I've created a series of different posters that could be placed inside of the trash bins around the community, and I just wanted to get everyone's feedback on them. So here's the first one with the subtitle saying "Clean, Green, Sustainable" and in big bold letters, "Beautiful Bladensburg." You have an image of an earth with a heart. And I've played around with different phrases, and you'll see as I go along different phrases that goes along with different posters, and we could all come together and kind of agree on different phrases to use. But this one says, "Love the earth, dispose with care," encouraging people to love the earth and the community that they're in and make sure they're disposing their trash properly. So that's the first one.
Nice.
The second one, it's a picture of the waterfront park in the Anacostia River. Same tagline, but this one says, "Keep it clean, protect the river scene." Third one, kind of a spring picture. As you'll see, there's like seasonal pictures as well, but this is just a spring picture as a flower. Next one, we kind of wanted to do an urban or street view, but this one's just of the library. Same tagline, which is a picture of the library. This one's a fall picture, same tagline, of David C. Harrington Park. This one's a winter picture at the waterfront park. And the last one, this one has a different tagline. It says "Preserve our wildlife," and a picture of an eagle in Bladensburg. So I just kind of wanted to get everyone's thoughts on these posters, if we wanted to do different seasonal posters or just stick to one general poster, such as the first one with the earth.
Nice concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Thank
really
you.
nice, Ray. Good job. I think the thing
Thank
about
you.
it is we also wanted to, I think on some of the ones where you have discovery starts here, wasn't there like a litter one that we were talking about putting on the bottom of the ones where you have discovery starts here? That we were like litter, you know, like dispose of your litter. I forgot what the
Oh, so
tagline
yeah,
was.
the original tagline is "Keep our town clean." So
Keep our
those
town
that
clean,
does,
okay.
yeah, the ones that say Discovery Star here, it'll say "Keep our town clean."
For town clean. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So, I mean, I like the multiple concepts, and I really like what you just did with the first one. I love the Earth. I think that's really nice for Earth Day. I really think that's a really good one that we could actually start off with, but I like them. So that's just my vote.
Thank you.
I like all of them.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, I like sending the message, to clean up, your trash and dispose of your trash. And you're talking about putting these on the trash cans?
Yes, they're called Big Belly trash cans, and they're placed throughout the community. And you're able to put posters inside of them.
Oh, okay.
So these would go around the different trash cans and be placed in them. And we could start off with this first one right here, and then as the seasons change, we could switch them out and things like that.
And I also
Yeah.
thought, Ray, what we could also do is we can also put them in our town newsletter as ads too, that we would kind of start to put that out. And also see some of these images on social media so that people can so that we can start to share them as images too. So there'll be the printed, there'll be the online, and then there'll be, there are ways that we can kind of reinforce this on different things.
Yep, agreed. This is all a part of a Beautiful Bladensburg campaign.
And we'd love to be able to, like, if we wanted to eventually produce a little video with the green team, I think that, utilizing something like this and starting, with, some kind of a thing would also be helpful. So we would probably start with some of these images and talk about maybe protecting, showing stuff when we're doing our Earth Day and doing some of these things where we're protecting the different areas and how we can then, kind of end and begin with this. So yeah, I think there's a lot of great opportunities. This is great, Ray. I just wanted to share it with everybody because I think it kind of addresses some of the issues with litter and also just in some ways what we're trying to do as a committee. So that's something that we really want to do. So yeah, all right. Well, thank you, Ray. That's great. Any other questions? So what we'll do is we'll start getting this out. Ray's we're looking at where we can put them on the big bellies and getting the right mounting, and if we can put them in other parts of the town, we will.
Michelle?
Mhm.
Last time you were asking about places to put trash cans. And I had an interesting experience this morning because I thought certainly one would have been included in their design. But I was at the library today, and out in front of the library, I was sitting on one of those really pretty benches, but thrown into their nice little garden was a used beverage bottle.
Oh, wow.
So I took it with me and I said, I'm just going to find the trash can around here. Well, there was one across the street, which thank you, somebody has put there by the bus stop.
Yes,
But
towns,
by
yeah.
the bus stop that's on the library side or
Is that one?
someplace near their parking lot, I walked all the way around the building and there's no trash can. I was
So,
surprised that the
yeah, me
library
too.
didn't include that in their,
Yeah.
Well,
Actually, I think there's 3 trash cans in front of the front door entrance, but it looks like a big round pot, I don't know, flower pot, but it was full of water. It had trash in it. And I was thinking, well, if this is a trash can, you got all these bottles in there, fills up with water, and it dumps all of the bottles out. So
Yes.
I assumed it was a trash can because they had trash in it, but I don't
no,
know
I
if
didn't
it's.
look in those. I thought they were just there to keep any traffic from maybe it would stop traffic before it crashed into the building. I thought that's what those were. I didn't know they were for anything else.
So what we'll do is I'll follow up with the library, find out what their, what their stuff is, what they're going to be doing. I know there's some that we need to you know, like as I mentioned, is that we wanted to expand the number of trash cans, maybe not big bellies, but we needed some more new trash cans around the town. I will talk with the library because they have that, you know, that they have a very modern that silver look, which might be a little different, but like that they've been using. Let me follow up with them. Maybe that's I did when I was talking to Miss Capone, she was talking about that they still have a punch list that they're working on with general services, and that might be on their punch list, like the public trash cans on the outside or those coming in. So let me follow up. We'll follow up. Ray, can you remind me to email her that and see if they have anything out front, you know, what they have?
Yes,
Yeah,
no problem.
with those benches there, people like me are gonna be using them, and if they can't eat and drink inside the library, that would be a logical place where they would do it. And then what do you do with your waste? I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll follow up and see if they have a plan, and if not, we can partner with them on getting something there. And also because it's a LEED building, they probably will have some kind of recycling plan. So that's the interesting part. That's why I'm thinking that it's probably a punch list item that hasn't been fulfilled. So hopefully we can find that out.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Ray, I'm gonna go. You can leave it on this one because we're gonna talk about Earth Day.
Okay.
So Earth Day's coming up, and we've been working with the Anacostia Watershed on program. And Ray, do you want me to give the news, or do you want to give the news?
Well, I could talk about it because I've been in contact. Michelle and I have both been in contact with the Anacostia Watershed Society, and based on what I've received, it looks like on April 20th, we'll be volunteering at the Anacostia Watershed Society's Earth Day event that will be held at the Bladesboro Waterfront Park. And on March 1st, they'll start spreading the link out for people to register and volunteer. So we'll make sure the community signs up for it, and we'll sign up for it as well. Because I already let them know that the green team and town staff and like the mayor and council want to be involved in that Earth Day celebration as well. So on March 1st, they'll reach back out to me, or I'll check their website for the sign up link for us to volunteer at their event.
Yeah. And I think it's a good opportunity for us because it's at the waterfront park. It's a good way for us to make a difference. I know that we also will be working on maybe doing some plantings and things like that around town. So I just think that for those people that want to clean up, that they can do a cleanup there. And if we do want to develop some areas for planting, it might be a little later because we may have some of our plantings already done because of the last one I'm talking about, America in Bloom, that we may want to put out some stuff before Earth Day, since it's coming sort of towards the end. It's closer to the end of April, and there's going to be we're going to need to get some plants out there for the early spring, which is actually pretty soon. So yeah, thank you, Ray. So does anybody have any questions about the Earth Day plan so far? And as we get more information, we'll share it at our next meeting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Okay. So the sustainable communities is the next one that was on the agenda. The sustainable communities, again, we're trying to reach out to Mike Honeycake, right? Honeycake from University of Maryland, because he wanted to sort of meet with the Green Team, kind of give you guys some parameters on as far as what the sustainable communities is and why we are, having this team active. So what we'll do is we're going to reach out to him again, find out a date that will work for him, and then send out a new meeting, the next meeting date for that, so that we can have him to kind of explain sustainable communities more. But part of it was activating the team and getting us to meet regularly. And with the projects that we're working on, I think they're going to fit in pretty well with what University of Maryland wants us to be doing. But I just wanted to make sure that we're okay. So that's my update on sustainable communities. We're just trying to get a meeting date that Mike can come to make his presentation. Okay, so that's any questions here? Okay, and the last one from staff updates is America in Bloom. I don't know if I've mentioned this last time, but the town has signed up for America in Bloom. Edmonston has participated for several years, and Rod Barnes, the town administrator for Edmonston, is actually an evaluator and a big proponent of the designation. So our thoughts are is that we want to have the green team's input, and we want to have you guys involved if as much as you want to be, but the town will be putting some effort in to putting in some additional flowers and additional, trying to spruce up the town because of this designation that we're going to be trying to go through for. And we're also going to be looking at sustainable plants, not just flowers, so that we can have things that come back, some perennials that actually have that, both add the color, but also have the longevity to kind of keep us through the year. So I'm really excited about it. They're going to be, I just forwarded it out to Purnell, but they're going to be coming out in, they're going to start it in April, May, depending on when the blooming, they're going to start in April, May, June for the blooming process, which means we will probably start putting in some of our areas in the early spring, which is actually getting towards March, mid to late March, to start to get things blooming, and then also working throughout the year to change up and to do more beds and getting ourselves, just to a different level of what we've done in the past. So I just wanted to kind of keep the green team and find out if anybody has any thoughts or any areas of places that you think that we can, amp up the looks of the town, trying to put together for our best foot forward on keeping this, making the town, shine in this kind of way.
Right.
Yeah, we have, I think, a couple of different mini parks, and one is over here near where I live. I think it's 54th and I forget the name of this, Upshur or something, the street behind me. But near Tilden, it's got a couple of benches, and I think there might be a trash can there, but some flowers there might be nice.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about adding some to some of the little areas that we try to add a little, add some beds over there. The only problem that we have is, finding the right level of, watering it and having access to water. So we may need some help from the neighbors in getting the water to those sites, because we don't necessarily have water in those sites. That's our issue. So we're gonna have to try to figure out something that has lower water needs, and that can kind of, but we will do. Yeah, I did think about those sites as places that we want to start.
I was wondering, do we have trash cans at all of the bus stops within Bladensburg?
We have them at a lot of them, not all of them, because there's a couple on Annapolis Road that do not. Actually, the ones where there's not a formal bus stop, we don't have them there, but we've applied for a grant to do more bus shelters, a green bus shelter that would then incorporate both a trash can and a kind of a living shelter for those areas. So that's what we've been looking at in the ones where we don't have it. But, it's like, we'd like to see some more built infrastructure to basically, because some of the places people are just sitting on the curb. So we've been trying to work with some of the property owners to kind of create those kind of pedestrian, the transit oases where people can sit, and then they also have a place to throw garbage. The issue that we've got is that on a lot of our sidewalks are really narrow. So when you have to either put it on the private property that's adjacent to it, because if you put it in the sidewalk, someone's got to, it kind of starts when somebody's sitting out there. So we've got to figure out some accessibility issues so that we can do that. But I have been starting to reach out to the property owners about enhanced, setting that up. It's just one of the thousands of things on my list of things that we're trying to work on in this year to try to get started. But we did apply for the grant funding already from Chesapeake Bay Trust. I haven't heard back on that one. I did hear back that I didn't get another one. So maybe I'm hoping that I might have gotten funding for that, because I think that would be an exciting project that would add something to the town.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that's great.
So yeah, that's, I mean, as far as the garbage cans go, and then that's one of those key locations that we're looking at is like, looking at where we have transit, where people are already passing, because like you're saying, Ms. Kinkle, when you're sitting or when you're at one of those locations, sometimes you just need to be able to throw something away, because we seem to have 7-Elevens by every one of these locations, so people need to have a place to put their Slurpee cup after
Yeah.
they're done. So yeah, we have to I mean, a lot of times in the spring I'm a Diet Coke drinker, so I take a nice walk and find one of the many 7-Elevens and get a Diet Coke around the town. So I always need a place that I always have to usually hold it. And I'm like, that means that I don't have enough trash cans if I have to take that cup all the way back with me to town hall. So I'm noticing it too.
Another high traffic area is up here at the end of Tilden Road. There's an entrance to the high school, and all of the high school kids go through that. They come up Tilden Road and go into the high school that way. And they
Yeah.
also cut through, I think it's 55th Street up there to the traffic light on Annapolis Road. They
Right.
have beautiful
Oh,
little
yeah.
garden area there with flowers, but there's no trash can there, on this side of the street where they,
Okay.
either on the corner there's a building there that's got a paved parking lot, and either there or they could put it at the end of the little island there. But,
Yeah, and the park, you mean, that's at the Parkway Shopping Center? Is that what that one's called? Is that what we're talking
no,
about?
it's actually, let me see if I can see it on the map here. It's 55th Avenue. It's got a traffic light, and it's 1 block away from the fork in the road for 202.
Oh, that's the one that's actually the one I know you're talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. The one where the Save-A-Lot is. Is that what we're talking? That's the one you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one where that's where I imagine, because that is like and I see people always having to sit up on the curb when they have to wait for the bus, because that's the one I would say is the one that we really needed at, but it's moving something back or creating something in that parking because of the fact that that's a narrow sidewalk. I know what you're talking about exactly, because I always see kids walking right through there.
And another
Yeah.
thing, I sent a couple of emails out over there. The Bladensburg Shopping Center across the street from the library. They have Tina's liquor store and a 7-Eleven. Next to the 7-Eleven, people park there all the time, eat their lunch and throw their trash up on the hill. So it'd be real nice to have some trash cans in there.
Okay.
And of course the shopping center's responsible for cleaning it up, but trash cans would help, resolve part of that trouble.
Yeah, maybe we can work with them. We are trying to work on something with the storefronts as far as, doing built infrastructure like their signage, but it also can go for something like landscaping or, creating the trash cans, where they can, because in some ways, if they can maintain them, it's one, and if we put them in and they can maintain them, or if we provide them the funding and they can maintain, taking that trash and doing that, that would be really helpful to the town. Because I mean, it becomes a lot as I add on responsibilities to Mr. Hall's crew. It becomes a lot for them to go every place and be every place every day. But yeah, we can definitely, I'll try to see if I'll talk to Mr. Reinhardt about who's the owner of that shopping center and see what we can do as far as a partnership.
And another thing, the trash cans behind Tina's liquor store and bar there are always overflowing. I've worked with Reinhardt for years trying to get it cleaned up. We clean it up and next week it's trashed again. And if we could somehow build a barrier wall around those dumpsters. A lot of apartments do this, and it hides the dumpsters and contains the trash from flowing, blowing into the field and everything. That would help a lot.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about, we have an issue with a lot of people doing a lot of illegal dumping in general around the area. And I know that I think they have twice a week trash pickup because because the commercial landlords have to do it themselves. I'm trying to get my arms around the best way to get to that solution, but I know what you're saying. It's tough because for the businesses, I'm gonna tell you, trash pickup is not cheap. And adding an additional day for other people to do it becomes expensive for the business owner. I know that we just had our trash renewal. And it's not inexpensive for these trash pickups. So I know I'm trying to be sympathetic to both, but I know that our issue is that we need to get these areas cleaned up. So actually, I'm having Sean to follow up on what's going on, but we can come back to you with some longer term issues there, because I think you're right. It's not just, we kind of address it at these one shot, things, and then we don't, it's something that kind of, it gets better for a little bit, but then it gets worse again. So we'll have to work on that issue.
Yeah, because the barrier wall with the front gate there, and they can keep it locked and give a key to all of the store people, that way it'll help keep the trash hidden and contained in there. But another issue is the field behind those dumpsters. It's just full of trash all over the place. I mean, it just looks terrible. And there is a gate there we could go through to clean that field up.
Yeah, we've contacted the property owner on that, because part of it's also us it's going towards Boswick, if I'm thinking about the same area. So we're going to do our portion too, because they've gotten even up to into our area as well. If that's what I'm thinking, if we're talking about the same place.
Right. Yeah, that's it. And then just as you're facing that field and the dumpsters, to the right of it, there's a parking strip there on Quincy Place.
Yeah.
And, it has a yellow curb for no parking, but the police told me they can't enforce it until there's a no parking sign. But people park there, the trucks park there, and they throw there's a pile of shingles and all kinds of trash there. And it's dumped over the fence, and they're also drinking there at night. There's cases of beer there. So the no parking sign plus no dumping sign with a fine would really help,
We're working on the whole idea of we're doing the dumping sign, but I didn't know about the no parking sign. Ray, can you put that in some notes for me? But I will also email about the no parking. I'll do that right now while we're sitting here. If you don't mind if I'm typing while we're talking. So I'll do that now. And you're saying that this is over near Tina's Bar, correct?
Right. Yeah. If you go out, say you go out of Tina's Bar and the dumpsters are there in front of you, go to the right, and there's along the fence by the dumpsters there's a yellow curb where people are parking, a no parking zone. And that's it's actually on Quincy Place. And the town is actually responsible for that area. It's part of the town.
Yeah.
Town of Bladensburg.
Yeah, that's because I know that I talked to Sean today about that area because of the email that you sent earlier. So I'm gonna follow up on the no parking too.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's listed in the no parking zone for the code of Bladensburg.
Okay, I'm doing no parking / dump illegal dumping sign. Got it. I just gotta put my. All right, I'm working on. I'll put that in an email to them, and we'll follow up. We have our staff meeting tomorrow, so I can definitely follow up in person. But the email always helps to get it started. So that's So the next item on the agenda, are there any new items or ideas for the green team that we need to consider?
I did have one comment.
Sure.
So I talked with Bladensburg Elementary on Friday, and I just let them know that we're interested in possibly doing a Bladensburg flower bed on the hill that their school sits on. And they seem interested as well. So I think whenever we're ready to start on that project, then I think they're ready as well.
Okay. And will they water for us if they said that?
We didn't get it. We didn't get into that.
All right. Well, we'll follow up on that, Ray, because I just don't want it to die, because we might not be able to get up there with water, but if they're willing to, if we put it in, will they be willing to maintain? That would be great.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we'll change flowers, but it's more of the fact that, some, watering would be really helpful to a new plant, or is that someplace that that's accessible to water? So we'll follow up. That sounds good.
Gotcha.
And to follow up on when we were talking about something to unify the town, at least, to unify the town with a native or a sustainable plant that would be special to Bladensburg.
Yeah.
I talked to some sustainable people, and they recommended the redbud tree. And the other thing they thought about was, would we be interested in the movement toward bringing back the pawpaw?
I know a lot of people have the pawpaws. Yeah, I think
it isn't as beautiful, I suppose.
is
when
that
it
beat of the
blooms,
redbud? Yeah.
But the fact that it has, it makes a fruit, and that's kind of unique to this area of the country and all that. That would be thing. And I thought of just blueberries, but I don't know if we have a native. And of course, that's not very showy. But those are the three plants that came forward that we could encourage or even help homeowners and apartments to use in their landscaping. It might be fun to have Bladensburg known for something like that.
Yeah, that's nice. I think the red buds are part of some of the trees that that people are giving away, but let me make sure of that list. But I think it might be, and I remember that the pawpaws are something that usually like the different watersheds kind of do, because you're right, they're native. And the other thing I was thinking about for flowers, I know that everybody doesn't, some people like them, some people don't love them, but I like the black-eyed Susans, they come back every year. I don't think, I think that's since it's one of the flower of Maryland, I was thinking about maybe starting to put some of those in places where we have flowers, so that we can have something that comes back and has some, longevity that way. But is there any other other flowers that we can also think about? Ms. Kinkle, have you thought about anything that you might? I love sunflowers too, to have them even seasonally kind of growing around places, and that people can kind of have some and put them in the yards if they wanted to, because they're just they're kind of interesting, and they're something that, that are great for pollinators too. They, they're just a nice little idea.
The town already has a lot of crepe myrtles, but they're not native. So there's, the native people are thumbs down on those, but the town does sport a lot, all those already.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Councilwoman, do you have any thoughts of something that you'd like to see? I know that
No, I'm kind of a seasonal person.
Okay. I used to have, hostas are a pain, but like I used to love just having some in some areas of my old yard. Now that I live where I live, I can't have hostas because I have deer, but I sort of miss them because they were just such a old faithful that they would some of the large ones would come up, and they would just be like just nice fill-in stuff that you would have in some areas that we don't have. But they kind of become invasive. They become a little invasive too, but.
Does Bladensburg have forsythia bushes anywhere?
I wasn't here when they were blooming. I don't know that, because I started after they would have bloomed. I don't know how much we have.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure, but they are beautiful for that period. We'll see them soon, like in the next month or two.
Yeah.
They're at their height. But yeah, any other stuff that we can look through or kind of bring back to the committee. I know the other part of being sustainable is some of our green initiatives with not just recycling, but the buildings and with composting. Kate, Ray, do you want to give an update on the composting? Because I think we're meeting with USDA tomorrow.
Yes, so we've begun the program with the town of Evanston for composting, and right now all the slots are filled, but soon they'll be collaborating with the town of Colmar Manor. So once the program starts back up to let more people sign up, then the program will start accepting more people. But people can still sign up. I'll just keep them on a waiting list. But so far between the two towns, we have about 50 people that are composting in the area. So it's a good start to the program.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing is that we're also working with Eco Farms and a couple of things so that we'll also have a community sustainable agriculture program at the town where people can buy weekly shares at a reduced rate. And so we want to offer that to residents and let them know that they can buy local, and it'll be available for pickup at the town hall on Thursdays starting in the spring. So for starting at about $10 a week. It's nothing, we think it's trying to make it attainable. It's usually about $20. We're trying to get a special deal. The more people we can get, the better the price could be.
Yeah, I have a question about composting.
Mhm.
From what I read about it on your the little printout you had, there's going to be collection sites, but my concern is, will the compost be brought in plastic bags? Because I'm picturing compost sitting somewhere, and the summer you got flies and maggots and dogs and animals trying to get into it, things like that. I had a couple of neighbors put a compost in the backyard, and it attracted the rats. And the rats ended up living in the compost bin, and they never used the compost. But I'm wondering, will the compost be sealed some
Yeah,
way?
that's my understanding, is that it's going to be a sealed container. And Ray, you can maybe correct me, but as my understanding, that it's going to be a sealed container that is rodent proof, so that, because we know that's a concern. And that I believe that you'll have compostable bags that they will give for bringing it. Am I incorrect on that, Ray? Or am I getting it wrong?
Yes,
Or right?
yes, that's correct. It's supposed to be in a sealed bin, so rodents will be a problem.
And I know that they worked on a specific bin that was rodent proof, like so that they can, be able to pick it up and then, empty it out, and then, but it's like that it has an outside casing that will keep the rodents out of it. And usually, Steve, it's like, most compost piles, if you're doing it right, you don't really get rodents because of the fact that you're not, they love man-made. They seem to love man-made food more than some of your compostable scraps. But you're right. Having the right container to keep people out of them, to keep the rodents out of it, is really important. So I know that was one of the things that we asked, and we wanted to make sure before we even put it in certain locations, because we know, we're trying to get the apartment buildings to have it, and we don't want something that's going to attract rodents, especially when you have multifamily. So that was one of the key concerns that we had for that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I know we have foxes around here.
Yeah,
They're into the raccoons are the ones that'll get into stuff.
Oh, yeah,
They have
will.
little hands that they'll they love that stuff.
Yeah, we have possums on our street, and raccoons get down in through the chimney, and it's a
But
lot
isn't
of
there a
wildlife.
compost site right back here at the farm behind me?
Yeah, they do. And that's what I'm saying. They don't really have, we're doing a lot of the leaves and things like that. So we compose, that's for over the leaves that the town collects are composted on top of the beds as a base for their new for their new soil every year. So we do that,
Okay.
but we're not doing necessarily, they are doing some food scraps, but the food scrap composting is happening in Edmonston. At
Okay.
their Edmonston site, not at our current site. But we'd like to expand that to our site, but they are doing it at the Edmonston site. Because I was saying that they were using them here for composting, the food scraps, but they're doing them at the Edmonston site. I think that's, really the only other thing that we had on here were next meeting dates and times. I think we talked about this time and of being good in the afternoon for people. What we can do is, if we can see with Mike if this day and time, maybe a couple weeks from now, would work for him, and send him a thing. Is there any other days of the week that might work, or any days that don't work, so that we can send him a time so that we can have Mike Honeycake join us?
I'm
take some-
retired. I'm here most of the time.
Okay, thank you. So we'll do that. So we'll send out some dates and we'll be back in touch. Is there anything else that we are missing for the good of the order?
So when will the next meeting be? What month?
Probably 2 or 3 weeks from now, because we do need to give you some updates on what's going to happen with Earth Day. And we do need to get some of these things. So we'll get back to, it'll be the next 2-3 weeks max, maybe the next 2 weeks. I'm trying to look at my calendar.
Either the 11th or 18th.
Yeah, the 11th or 18th would be the latest, but I really think, you know what? Yeah, the 11th or 18th both work. Yeah. For me. So those are the dates that I'm targeting. I'd like to do probably the 11th, because I think that I want to be able to give you guys because since Earth Grade Day is coming up so quick, we'll probably need to have one meeting then and then another meeting in early April so that we can go through volunteers and all that kind of stuff. And if we need to, what do we need to have at that event? So the next one's really going to be next two are going to talk about Earth Day.
Yeah, March 11 is the town council meeting.
Right.
That's okay. I usually keep my afternoons free before the town council meeting. It's always good to report on with the council what I'm doing. So that's why I don't mind it. We also could do the 12th if that's because that day is also okay. I'm just out of town I'm going to probably be out of town the 13th and 14th and 15th of that week. I haven't taken it off yet, but I probably will be working remotely those 3 days. But otherwise, I will be Monday and Tuesday of that week work fine for me.
Yeah, March 18th, I'll be going to the doctor that day.
Okay. So then we might want to then try to do the 11th because then that gives us some time to. So for now, we'll send that to Mike and see if that works for him. If it doesn't, we'll just try to set up something in April or May for him to see if he can come. Does that make sense, Ray? So that you can
Yep.
just send him saying our next meeting is the 11th. And then if he can't make that, here's some, do you have some time in May April or May that you can meet with the group?
Yep. So I'll reach out to him after this meeting.
Perfect. We'll do that. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good meeting.
Nice meeting
Yes.
everybody. Thank you. Have a great
Yes,
day.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
All right.